This episode of the Going Mach 5 podcast actually does have a sponsor, but we're still negotiating some things. So right now I'm going to do the Q&A for episode number 5 right before my interview with the 48-hour traveler.
I taught Mike some phrases to help with his interracial conversations. You know, stuff like going Mach 5, Mach 5, fleece it out, thinking flicker. Thinking flicker.
Just can't help myself.
Going Mach 5, Mach 5.
It's gonna be talkative.
Okay, do you have any disorders? Give you a second to read that. Do you find interviews hard? It really depends on the person I'm interviewing, the conversation we're trying to have, and their level of openness from beginning to end. And interviews are only difficult if I haven't prepared myself, which I try to do that as much as possible. You've been losing weight since the first pod I noticed. What's the secret? Are you from this country? I have been losing weight since the first pod. And the secret is great diet and training. And there is one specific supplement that I'm taking and is actually the sponsor I'm negotiating with. So I will tell you when we get everything finalized. When was the last time you cried like a baby? Schindler's List came on AMC the other day, and I cried at the end of that movie every single time. If you had a son and he had to be one, would you pick gay or trans? If I had a son, I would want him to be happy. How do you decide who goes on your podcast? Normally, I try to ask people who I think are interesting, people who I think would have something to say, or people who I think I would have chemistry with. So if I ask you to be on the pod, it is because I see value in you, or I see value in something I feel like you could share with the world, and I want to be the platform to help you do that. When is the last time you had alcohol? Never had a drop a day in my life, just not my bag. What is your opinion of people who say, "Oh, Kurt"? Challenged. Who is your hero? My dad. Do you think you're funny? I think I'm entertaining, and that's not necessarily the same thing. And usually whether I'm funny or entertaining, it's unintentional. What should I invest in right now? Pumpkins. It makes sense when you think about it, and I'm not kidding. How many women have you slept with in sports team terms? Look at the amount of people on the Atlanta Thrashers hockey team roster right now. There's your answer. Future plans for the show: multi-cameras and a bigger marketing budget. Favorite interview, least favorite. I love all my children the same. I like a girl, but she's always so busy. What do I do? She's not always so busy. She just doesn't prioritize you. You move the fuck on with your life. How were you able to invest in Uber before it went public? Usually when it comes to pre-IPO investments, it's good to know somebody. I knew somebody. My only regret is that I didn't invest more for obvious reasons. What's your money situation like? That's a tacky question. And lastly, what are your thoughts on apps like TikTok? It's very interesting that there are a lot of people in the TikTok community who are challenged, to say the least, and they can work that app backwards and forwards. Meanwhile, I can't work it to save my life. So maybe that says more about me than it does about them. Either way, if you can find a way to invest in it, I would do it right now. Anyway, that is the Q&A for episode number 5. And here is my interview with Felicia Hylton, the 48-hour traveler. It's going to be used. So I told him, I was like, I'm recording all this. Oh, we're going? I'm like, well, even if I wasn't going, like, you just kind of fucking up my time right now. Because I have people booked after you. That sounds so pretentious, but it's true.
It's very pretentious.
So
I'll go with it.
Yeah. So I'm going to cut all that out. So our podcast will be like 10 minutes. Felicia, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Are you really great?
I'm great right now because I'm not at work. And I just got back from out of town. So
Where'd you go?
Went to New Orleans for my birthday.
Okay. You went to New Orleans. What part?
I was on Canal. I stayed on Canal. I just drank and ate for my birthday.
I think we missed each other by maybe 2 weeks.
Probably.
Maybe 2 weeks. I was on Carindale Street.
Oh. Okay, I know where that is. Yeah.
It's right by, where the CVS and the Walgreens are like right across the street from each other?
Yes.
I was walking distance from that Walgreens CVS.
So I was on Canal, right off the highway. It's like a Spring Hill Suites right there. Walking distance to Bourbon.
Where'd you stay? Where'd you stay?
At the Spring Hill Suite.
That's where. Okay.
Yeah.
The best thing about that, and I'm not trying to go too deep into this, but the best thing about that day that I was there was, that was the day that I'm gonna try to say this diplomatically. Drew Brees got hurt, and the Saints lost, and then the Falcons beat the Eagles.
Oh, the only time
Our
we won.
one win of the season,
Right.
and to be in New Orleans when that happens, it just, I just.
Yeah, I was walking through my hotel and the girl at the front desk was like, "Oh, what's going on with your Falcons?" It's when we played Houston.
Oh, Deshaun Watson ran a train on us.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
It's kind of embarrassing.
I've come to terms with it.
I just don't watch anymore.
Well, here's the thing. The way our schedule, have you looked at our schedule? Do you know our schedule?
No.
Do you know we don't have any NFC South games until the second half of the season?
Yeah.
Like, we don't play the Saints twice until, like...
I know we play Thanksgiving. We play them on Thanksgiving in Atlanta.
Like, we have the Saints twice, Bucks twice, and Panthers twice, like we always do. But that's not until, like, I want to say week 6 or 7, maybe 8.
So you're telling me that there is a way that we could win the division?
There is still a way, yeah. Because the way our schedule has worked out is, obviously, if we beat the Saints, hypothetically, we beat the Saints twice, it's 2 wins for us and 2 losses for them. And if that were to happen right now, we'd be second in the division, which is weird to even think about.
Because we look terrible.
We look awful. But you know what? I hold out hope. And the reason why is because I truthfully don't give a shit.
I had to let this one go.
After that Super Bowl thing, I started kind of looking at the Falcons in a different way. I look at them like, we do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do whatever we're gonna do. Like,
and there's nothing you can do about it.
no, it's y'all are gonna do what y'all gonna do.
But you know what was worse about the Falcons doing that in the Super Bowl was that Georgia did it in the national championship the very next year.
They did. You know the Braves just gave up 2-1 lead in the ALDS.
I did see that.
Atlanta Sports.
10 runs in the first inning.
13.
13. Okay. When I saw it was 10.
When I saw it was 13, and then and you could be right. It might have been 10 runs in the first inning because
Right.
I checked on the game when it was bottom of the third, and it was 13-0. And then we started coming back, and we lost 13-1. So
We started coming back and lost
Yeah,
13-1. That was a good one. I like that.
not very, very big on Atlanta sports right now.
No.
But I mean, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I really kind of got off the NFL.
Okay.
Like, after,
Were you on the boycott train?
Yeah, like,
Okay.
so after they lost the Super Bowl, and then the Kaepernick thing, and then him not having a job, I'm like, man, football ain't even like my bag as much as it used to be. And then I just kind of got turned off.
Right.
But it is what it is. But
That's fair.
That one moment in time in New Orleans when
That was probably pretty amazing.
oh yeah, Saints lost, Falcons won, and I wore my custom Falcons jersey
That's nice.
on Bourbon Street, and it was pretty amazing.
I didn't even bring anything Falcons with me.
Really?
I knew better.
Really?
I just felt in my spirit that they were going to lose.
I mean, I've worn my Julio Jones jersey on Bourbon Street before. It was pretty glorious. It was pretty great. Like, I love that stuff. But I'm a troll, and I don't really have a good idea for my own safety.
Okay, yeah, see, so that's why you do that.
I just don't care. Like, I it's bad, but I kind of look at it like, can you beat me up?
Okay, see, I can't do that.
See, I do whatever and then say, but can you beat me up? Can you stop me?
And the answer to that is probably no for most people, but for me, I can't do that. So that's where we have a problem.
You might have hands.
I mean, maybe, but I'm not going to tell anybody.
Well, see, okay. I
Element of
understand.
surprise.
A weapon is only a weapon if people don't know you have it. I get that. Andre 3000 said that. I can't take credit. But, I mean, I get it. That's cool. All right. Now I invited you here because I wanted you to talk about yourself.
Oh, that's such a hard topic.
Why?
I don't know.
It's literally the most expert topic that you know.
That's fair.
That is, you know the most about there's no one else on this planet that knows more about you than you.
That's fair. All right, I'll roll with it.
Okay, so what do you do?
I work. I work in communications. It's not real glorious. It's not real fancy.
You sure?
I write a lot. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Writing is fun. What do you write?
I write about supply chain outages.
Oh, that's
and-
fucking boring.
Yeah, right?
That's fucking boring.
Right?
Okay.
But
Supply chain.
my boss is lit, so that works out.
Now, lit, I'm 68 years old. I don't know what lit means. What does that mean?
You know, I have a really good team environment at work.
Okay.
My boss will take us out for drinks from time to time.
All right.
And, you know, it's a good situation. I actually like her. And I can't really say that for a lot of people I've worked for.
I was like, you seem surprised.
Yeah.
Okay, so she takes you out for drinks. Like, is there like a sense of camaraderie that you have with your other coworkers as well? Or
Absolutely.
is it just your boss?
Absolutely. No, my immediate team is really dope. We just talk about life, like people actually care about each other outside of work.
What's the demographic of it?
My team, it's 4 people. I am the only bit of pepper in that salt shaker in that team. But
I'm glad you knew what I was asking you.
yeah, I know. I knew
Okay.
what you were going for there. So one, my boss is a white female. The other 2 people on my team are white males. But I think one, I don't know if I can really call him like white. His family's from Trinidad. He's kind of Caribbean. He's also a Saints fan, so there's that.
Oh, fuck him then.
But he's super cool.
I don't care. I don't care about none
Okay,
of that
that's
shit.
fair. That's
Fuck 'em.
fair. That's fair. But yeah,
I
I
hope they all
work.
get TB.
I work and
Fans included.
I travel, and that's what I do with my time.
Yeah, you travel a lot.
I do travel a
You
lot.
travel a lot.
I do.
Okay.
This has been a good year for me.
I can't. Shut up. I can't. Fuck you. This has been a good. It's so fucking pretentious.
I mean,
this has
you
been
would
a
be
good
able
year
to
for
best
me.
identify someone being pretentious, would you not?
Absolutely. That's why I say it.
There
I'm
you
the
go.
expert on that. Like, this has been said because that sounds like some shit that I would say. Like, but the thing is, I can get away with it because you can't beat me up.
And
I
it
don't-
always comes back to that.
I don't mean you. I mean just in general.
In general, right.
Like, there's a running joke with my best friend who did podcast before. Is, I mean, the fact of the matter is, like, yo, beat me up. You want me to stop talking shit? Just like do it.
That's fair.
But I'm just kidding whenever I do that. So it's been a good year for you. Where have you gone?
This year, I went to Texas twice for work. Went to San Francisco. I went to New Orleans. This past time was my 3rd time. I went 2 other times this year.
2 other times this year.
This year.
Cool. Keep going.
I went to Phoenix for a conference, and I went to Colombia, and then I went to Bali in September.
What part of Colombia?
Cartagena.
My dad's going there in December.
It was
Again,
amazing. It was a lot of fun.
yeah. It's my understanding is it's very inexpensive to live there.
I'm trying to remember what kind of rent people were paying, and it didn't really seem like it was that much money, trying to convert it to US dollars. But
Did you have to bring a lot of cash?
I did some cash, some card.
Okay.
I mean, cash is easier in most foreign countries, but I think you can get away with anything, whether it's card or cash. So
Okay. So Colombia, and then where else?
I went to Bali
And that's the most recent one?
before New Orleans.
Before New Orleans?
Yeah.
And which one did you go to? You went to New Orleans for your birthday.
I went to New Orleans for my birthday. I went to Bali with 4 of my friends.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you a question,
Okay.
and I'm going to phrase this as cleanly and diplomatically as possible.
Uh-oh.
How in the fuck are you able to do all this? Because, like, the general consensus is, and I'm gonna peel back the curtain a little bit.
Okay.
There have been people who have mentioned to me, and not in a jealous way either,
Right.
in just they notice it, and it's just like, man, that's cool, but how?
How do you do it?
Now, and yes or no, is your ability to travel or now I'm not talking about your time and you being able to make time, but your ability to travel, is it strictly the fact that you are financially able to? Or is there more at play that's allowing you to be able to do these things? i.e., you got to plug somewhere for something.
Okay, got your question.
Okay.
So I used to have some flight benefits, so that's how I used to travel a lot more frequently. I think I traveled more frequently last year and the year before than I did this year, believe it or not. But I had flight
Because
benefits.
this has been a pretty good year for you.
Because this has been a pretty good year.
Okay.
Not tooting my own horn or anything.
Okay, sure.
Beep, beep. So I have flight benefits, so that made it possible before. This year, I'm able to do a lot more, number one, because I got a better job this year. So significant pay increase equals a whole lot more to trick off.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've done a couple of work trips, or like I've done conferences. My job pays for them. So I collect all my benefits from that, getting my points. And I'm pretty loyal to one airline. So, you know, I get some status, and then you get miles and things of that nature. So it makes travel easier later. And then I go places with people. I mean, the 2 other times I went to New Orleans, I drove. So that's not a flight. That's just jumping in the car. It's a tank of gas. It's really not that hard. And you split a hotel room with some folks, and it's not really that big of a deal.
Hotel or Airbnb?
Either or, depends on where we're going. In Bali, we had an Airbnb. It was amazing. There were 5 of us. It was a 5-bedroom villa. It was gorgeous. But it's really cheap over there. So what we got that for a week was probably less than I would spend for 3 nights in a hotel.
And see, it's interesting you say that. That's why I chose New Orleans. I mean, I've been to New Orleans before, but I went to New Orleans because New Orleans, much like the Saints, are a cheap, shitty team. and I'm not joking about the Saints. Like, I don't take that back. But as far as the city,
why would you?
No, because fuck them. But it is inexpensive to live. I mean, to live
stay there.
and to stay there. When I saw the hotel prices, and then I rechecked them because I was actually planning on going back at some point in November.
Okay.
Like, I really thought about it, and it's still something I'm pontificating on. But the flights,
pontificating,
of course,
really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Let's go with
We're
it.
gonna go, yeah. Beat me up.
So how many times we should start tallying how many times you say that?
No, but you know what I almost did do is I almost did a supercut of the word retarded when I said it on the second episode.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
I said it a lot, and I told Slim, I told him on camera and off camera, oh, that's going to come back on me one day. Like, they're going to ask me to host the Oscars or something. And they're going to say, hey,
you're going to go viral.
Second episode of your podcast, you said the word retarded a lot. And I'm going to say, yeah, I did.
You did.
Why? Well, because sometimes shit is retarded. Like, what the fuck you mad at me for? And what's funny
So I think you're on 3 right now for this one?
4.
4? Okay.
But the thing is, like, for the longest, I didn't say that word because I thought it was so offensive. And then I turned 33, which I like to call my Kobe year. And my barber likes to call it my Jesus year.
I was going to say, most people call it their Jesus year.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. But I call it my Kobe year because that was about the age where he stopped giving a shit and just started tweeting like whatever he wanted to.
So what's 32?
That's the Magic Johnson year.
Okay.
That's the jersey number he wore.
I mean, is that it? Is that my only option?
I'm sure you got more. You have to Google
I have to do some research on that.
I just do research based on my own.
But you were 32, so you should have had a year.
Well, I just called it my Magic year.
Oh, okay.
You know,
and I don't like that one.
I was gonna call it my Pippen year, but calling my Kobe year is a little bit more recognizable.
Yeah, it is.
Like, just a little bit more, not a lot actually, but a little bit more. But yeah, what the fuck was I talking about?
Saying retarded on the podcast.
Yeah,
it's gonna come back.
It's definitely gonna come back. But no, there's no supercut of me being beaten up. I am, like I said, pontificating on going back to New Orleans, but I checked the hotels again, and it was they're very expensive now, like absurdly expensive. I think for the 5 days I spent there, which was me really getting away from Atlanta,
right,
but also celebrating. A low-key celebration for me putting this podcast together.
Okay. Because
behind the scenes, a lot of people don't know this was in development since February.
Oh, wow.
Like, so in terms of investing money in things and this is to anyone who wants to start a podcast. This is just what I did, and you can listen to me or you cannot. 3 light setup, camera lens with adapter because that lens typically doesn't go with that camera. And shout out to Chin from T-Fat-K because he's the producer of The Fighter and the Kid, and he did not have to respond to my DM, but he did. And I'm very grateful for that because he told me exactly what their setup was. Whether it be that camera or cables long enough or the program, I had to buy the program, or the plugins, I had to buy that. Or like I said, the stands, the microphones, those weren't cheap. The microphone arms. Going
lot
to
of money.
Pier 1 Imports and finding a table like that I'm still looking to upgrade, that can fit in that space but still be weighted enough to control that microphone.
Right.
Paying for the logo. Like, there's so many things that go into, thank you. Like I did it. But paying for the logo, getting it outsourced. A guy in Pakistan did that logo.
Interesting.
And I didn't, that was actually the cheapest thing. The thing that people think is the most expensive was the cheapest thing. But it's such a big investment. And when you undertake all that and you write down all these ideas and you ball them up and start over and make all these lists.
Right.
I said, you know what? I need to get away. And I have 3 vacations this week. Excuse me, this year.
Week? Ooh.
Shit, no, I wish. This year for my job, I took 1 and went to New Orleans. I still got 2 more to take before Thanksgiving. We'll see where I end up. But I did want to celebrate, and New Orleans was a great way to go. Now,
But you don't drink, right?
No. There's nothing traditionally in New Orleans for me.
No.
But I mean, the food. Here's how I am about food.
Okay.
When I got to the hotel, I had my luggage. I took a shuttle. If you ever go to New Orleans, don't ever do Super Shuttle. It's ass. It's awful.
Just take a Lyft.
Or yeah, or Uber, or one of them. Uber or Lyft.
Somebody, anybody.
Like the little $5 you would save is not worth it. Super Shuttle was awful, and I finally get to the hotel.
Could have told you that.
And it's a learning experience. And when I get to the hotel, I talk to the front desk clerk, and I say, "Listen, I'm trying to get food quickly. Where can I go?" She's like, "Well, this is right here, walking distance from," she said, "There's a Subway right here, there's a Domino's right here, convenience store." She goes through almost every restaurant in like a 10-mile radius. Here's what's good from here, here's what's good from here. Here's the bad part. She's writing it down for me and everything. Just being just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful person in terms of just giving me all the information I need.
Right. You didn't use any of it.
All I heard was Domino's. It's the first thing I heard. She said there's a Domino's. She said there's a Subway right here. There's a Domino's right. And that's all I heard. So while she's talking, I'm just like, okay, sausage.
You should have stopped her.
Pepperoni.
Did you at least use the list?
I use a list.
Oh, okay,
eventually I did. I used some of it. But
okay, well, that's not too bad.
Like I said, I want something quick right now.
And she said Domino's.
And I heard Subway and I heard Domino's. And I went to New Orleans and got food I could have gotten from Atlanta. And I'm not sorry for it.
Yeah, I can tell.
Because I wanted food right then. I need sustenance right now.
Okay.
Now, when you went to New Orleans, how many days did you go?
I was there for 3 days.
Okay. What were you able to digest? And I don't mean like literally. Like, what were you able to digest in 3 days? Like, what did you do? What was on the itinerary?
Eating and drinking. That was it.
Really?
Yeah. It's been a rough couple of weeks at work. I just wanted to not do anything of substance or value. I mean, we did a jazz cruise, but I ate and drank on that too.
Two of my most least favorite things on the planet.
Jazz and cruises.
Jazz and cruises.
Yeah, it was interesting. We ate and drank, didn't even go out on the outside of the boat until we were back at the dock. So really could have just ate and drank on land.
One, I think it's very noble of you to do that. Two, for the saxophone to be the first instrument I ever learned, it's very ironic that I don't find jazz to be real music.
I think I started learning the clarinet.
You didn't finish?
Well, my mother told me I was terrible, so she took it back.
Way to support your dreams.
Right?
Way to support your endeavors.
Right. No, so you know how when you're in like middle school and you're taking band classes or what have you, and you go rent your instrument from...
Yep, I do remember.
Yes. So I was gung-ho about it. Like, I am going to learn how to play an instrument.
Like we all were.
You know,
at that age.
This was middle school. I'm going to learn. I'm past this recorder. Like, I need to move on to bigger and better.
Right.
And I get this clarinet. You know, it's, 2 semesters at this point? 6th grade? So there's not really much that you're learning. You're still learning notes and like reading music, things like that. And that summer, I went looking for it, like school, getting ready to start looking for my clarinet. And she's like, yeah, oh, that's gone. Yeah, we're done because you're not that good. And I was like, okay, well, guess I'm not going to learn.
Do you understand that some people at that point become a serial killer?
Well, then I am the one that didn't, so that's good.
That's making a murderer.
Right. Sounds like the beginning of a Netflix special.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
Do you have any bodies? Have you killed anybody?
No.
Okay, good.
At least not to my knowledge.
If you did, would you have told me?
No.
All right,
No.
well, that's honest.
This is going to be public. Why would I tell you that on camera?
Spoken like a sociopath. But go ahead. Incapable of feeling guilt. No, I wouldn't. But I wouldn't tell you the truth either. Whatever.
But I'm not.
So you learn how to play the clarinet. And
Briefly. A few notes. That's about it.
If I gave you a clarinet right now, would you be able to play it?
No, absolutely not.
Really?
Absolutely not. That was like 18 years ago.
If you gave me a saxophone right now, I could play it.
Yeah, but I'm sure you had a whole lot more training than I did.
No, I don't think so. I think the saxophone.
Then you just didn't suck.
No, I didn't.
There's
I
that.
think musically, I was always like
Exactly.
decent at it.
You
like,
have an ear for music.
It was just, oh, thank you. That's sweet of you to say.
I don't.
It taught me like notes. Like saxophone taught me piano, and piano taught me everything else. Like I know that sounds weird, but like learning the notes, like okay, I can kind of gauge what sounds right and what doesn't.
Right.
But yeah, cruises, power to you, because
I mean, yeah. Normally I do boat trips or something, like yacht trips on. I know that. Damn, that sounded pretentious again. Okay, so
no, it is what it is. I don't think it sounds pretentious.
Sure. So when we go out of town,
I'm the expert.
You are okay. You're right. You're right. You're right. I forgot.
If you do yacht trips, you just do yacht trips.
Yeah, but you do like a little yacht, 3, 4, 5 hours out on the water. So I've done that during travel a couple of times, but never done anything. I've never gone on a cruise where you sleep on the boat. I've seen Titanic too many times, so I think I'm still a little.
Titanic, Ghost Ship, Poseidon. I've looked at a lot of. It's the same reason why flying gives me anxiety.
See, but I love to fly.
Flying gives me anxiety.
I love
There's
to fly.
nothing that gives me anxiety like flying does.
Really?
There's nothing. And it's so weird because...
So you don't do window seats, huh?
I did it for the first time when I went to New Orleans, actually. It was the first time I've ever flown and did a window seat. And...
You just don't want to watch?
I was... You know what? On the way there, I didn't do a window seat.
Okay.
Because I was late for the flight. But everyone had boarded already, and there was a couple that was already there, and then the aisle seat was free. And I sat down. I'll be on here for hours, not a big deal. And I was able to look out at both sides and see the windows on both sides. And it was all right, okay, cool.
Okay.
On the way back, I had a window seat.
Okay.
And it was a connecting flight, I think, to Boston. So there were like less people on it because I guess nobody wants to go to Boston.
I mean, I want to go at some point. Maybe.
Okay. Cool. Do you?
Well,
when you look like this.
See, okay. The reason I really want to go to Boston is because I want to go to all 50 states. So I have to go. I mean, where else in Massachusetts am I going to go?
You can go to a place where never mind.
Right.
There's not a place in Massachusetts where you don't get lynched.
So let me just go to Boston.
Yeah. I do want, it's a true story. Bucket list is I want to go to Fenway Park.
So yes, that's on my bucket list. Well, not necessarily Fenway Park, but to go into like a big stadium like that, like something that's really known.
Yeah, I know I do want to do that. So I get it, why you would want to do that. But
right.
As far as window seats go, fuck them. Because I went and...
What's wrong with you?
When I went, so I don't fuck with them. If I don't fuck with a person, I don't fuck with a person. If I don't fuck with an inanimate object, I just don't. Fuck window seats.
Okay.
Like...
What did the window do to you?
It's there. It exists. It exists in my space, and I don't like it.
Okay.
If I could send a mean tweet and at Southwest Airlines or Delta Airlines and get the window seat fired, I would do it.
Huh.
I would It's cancel culture. That's how you get things done nowadays. You need to get on board. Like that's how you get things done.
Let's do it.
You just send a mean tweet and you get people fired.
But I like the window seat, so don't get the window seat fired.
No.
Please don't.
But no, I saw it and it was weird. Is I've seen Final Destination way too many times.
That too.
So
I have this thing about driving behind the trucks with the logs.
See, I don't do that anymore.
I can't do it.
Nobody does that. Like
no.
Every time I see it, I'm like, nope. I'm
not
getting
today.
over. I'm not doing it.
I can still. That's probably the only scene I really remember out of that movie.
There are, and that was Final Destination too. There are movies. Final Destination is one of them where after I watched the movie, Saw is like that too. I love the Saw movies religiously.
You put me on Saw.
Saw the most
amazing. We talked. This was years ago.
Great film cinema.
We talked about Saw, and I watched all of them.
Better than Godfather. Better than Scorsese. Any of Scorsese's movies.
Yeah, you put me on Saw.
Better than Terminator.
That was a good look.
Saw is amazing. Saw is amazing if you can get past the whole violent aspect of it. Like
it's just crazy.
Because there are people who are just like, oh, I don't like horror movies. And I'm like, you really have to watch it. Because it was the first movie series I ever saw where it didn't insult my intelligence. Mm-hmm. Like the first Saw, me and my boy Tim were in the theater and we're watching, it was in 2003, I believe. And we're watching it just on a whim. And we look over, like we're watching the twist at the end. And like, if we're sitting like this, and hypothetically, I was on Tim's other side, but I'll just do it for the sake of the camera. I'm grabbing Tim's chest like this. His arm is over. He's grabbing mine. And we're watching
Arms are interlocked.
Yes. Bro, are you seeing this? And
That's hilarious.
That was the first movie I ever saw where I couldn't guess the ending of it. And it got me. And I was like, all right, y'all got a fan forever. So it's made me love it. But movies like that, like I love religiously, but I have to see the behind the scenes of these movies to make me feel better about what I'm seeing. Because I'm like, I know this isn't real.
Right. So you have to prove it.
Like I need to see the actors laughing and joking behind the scenes. I need to see the visual effects.
Now I want to go back and watch it.
Like, oof.
What are there? It was 7, right?
8 technically.
Okay.
Because Jigsaw came out 2 years ago, I believe.
I did not see Jigsaw.
You need to.
Oh.
It's on Netflix. You need to see it.
I'm totally going home to watch that.
Jigsaw was
Is it really on? Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't watch that tonight.
Watch it tonight. You know they just filmed the second one, another one. Chris Rock went to. My understanding is Chris Rock went to New Line and pitched an idea for a new Saw movie, and they loved it so much that they greenlit it. Sam Jackson's in it too, and they just finished filming it.
What?
So I don't know when it's coming out, but it's a wrap. They said the idea was so good, they were like, "Yo,
we have to do it.
We got to do it," and they did it. It's finished now.
Shut up.
That's my bucket list. That's one of my bucket list items. Is I have 2. One, I wanted to die in a Walking Dead episode, which I did, and I want to die in a Saw movie, like awfully and horribly. So I've chopped down 50% of it. I need to do that.
One more.
Thing. Yeah. So we'll see. But
okay.
Planes give me anxiety. When I did the window seat on the way back,
that.
I saw the wing like shaking a little bit, and I was like, "All right, close the window." Like,
I had this flight. I was coming back from Pensacola to Atlanta, and it was storming some miles out, but literally I have this window seat and you can see.
I like your nails.
Oh, thanks. This is the first time I've ever gotten them done like this.
They look very nice.
I love them. Thank you so much.
No problem.
But
I'm sorry.
I know. And when I have nails on, I talk with my hands so much more. It's just like, hey, look at these.
It's just like when people ask me for directions and I just use it as an excuse to show off my biceps. Like, oh, you're going this way, but you might be trying to go that way. And that's never worked at all. My dick stays dry when I do stuff like that. But please, go ahead.
I'm never going to look at these the same way now.
It's never worked.
So we are flying back to Atlanta. I mean, this flight is maybe 45 minutes, not long, but it's storming. And literally you can see every time the lightning flashes, you can see it and you can, so you wouldn't have been able to do that.
I'm getting anxiety right now. No,
I
would have done it.
Well, obviously, because you can't get off the plane.
Right. Like I would have, even if I knew beforehand that the weather was going to be bad.
Right.
It's not going to stop me from getting on the plane because I'm going to tough it out, whatever it is.
Right.
Like, and this sounds weird and it sounds dramatic, but it's true. It's like, if I'm going to die, I'm just going to die. Like, if that's the wave, that's just the wave.
I tell the people that all the time.
If I'm going to go down like Alex Browning in this plane, then that's what I'm going to do. But from Final Destination, if that went over anybody's head. But if
but you know which Final Destination death is really the one that bothers me? The roller coasters. Like them flying off the roller coasters.
Yes.
That's the one that stresses me out.
Really?
Yes.
Why more?
Because
than
I like
others?
roller coasters. And Six Flags has some really raggedy roller coasters.
And it's funny because I dislike flights. They give me anxiety. I really dislike driving on the freeway, especially in traffic with log trucks. roller coasters give me anxiety, and you're never going to see me in a NASCAR event. So all the Final Destination movies, those little intros, those are not things that I find joy in doing, that it's messed up for me. I feel like there was another intro that I'm not thinking about.
I have to go back and rewatch them. It's been a minute.
It was the plane, and then Final Destination 2 was the traffic, and then 3 was...
Wasn't there one that
3 was the roller coaster.
I remember.
4 was NASCAR.
Was that the intro?
Yeah, 4 was a NASCAR race.
Okay, I just remember the one because I watched it in slow motion. Don't judge me. So the one where he's maybe a teenager and he's outside of a building, and then like this glass.
5
which one was that?
That was 2.
That was 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
5 was them on the bridge. I had to remember that. 5 was the Final Destination.
Okay.
5, I don't want to talk about it because the twist at the end of 5 was really dope. Have you seen 5?
I don't think I saw that either.
5 was the best one. It was the
out of all of them.
It was the best one.
Now I gotta go watch that too.
I watched it just like,
I need to add these to my list.
It's the Final Destination movie. All right, cool. I'll watch it. And then I watched it and was like, whoever wrote this, you could tell they actually gave a shit. Right. And it wasn't just showing creative ways of people dying.
Yeah, because some of them were just random creative ways to kill people.
Yeah, and I've seen the behind the scenes of all of them, and it's really creative how they put it together. And I say I've seen the behind the scenes. Really, and this is the second time I'm gonna plug his YouTube channel, but it's a YouTube channel called Dead Meat. This guy named James A. Janice, he does this thing called the Kill Count.
Okay.
And he goes through like horror movies where people die in them. And he goes through the whole movie and he kind of breaks down a summary. But he also talks about the people that die, how they died, who killed them. Right. And at the end, he counts it up and he does it by, he's like, 5 women died, 6 men died, and it's very creative how he does it. He doesn't diminish death. It's really just a celebration of the makeup artists and special effects people and things of that nature. Got it. And he's done all the Final Destination ones. And he even talks about the behind the scenes stuff. And he kind of shows that too. And I love seeing like how they were able to do certain things. Like it's just so creative. The last one, the premise of the last one was, and you haven't seen it.
That's the Final Destination.
Yeah.
I feel like I did, but I need to rewatch it because it's been a while.
It's when they were on a bridge, and the premise is pretty much if you kill someone, you take how much life they would have had. Like that ends up coming, it's not a twist. Yeah. But it's like, it happens throughout the movie, I think at the beginning of Act 2 or the middle of Act 2. But if, let's say hypothetically, I'm on death's list, but I kill you, and you were going to live till you were 90 or 100.
So now I get your years.
Yeah, I get to live until I'm 90 or 100. And it's very, and the acting is really good. Okay. Like, so I got some stuff to watch. I was like, and like I said, whoever wrote it is clearly a fan and clearly said, all right, if this is going to be the last one,
we got to go out with a bang.
We got to do it right. And they did it. And I remember, here's the thing. Movies are a very interesting thing. And you know this. When you get context on characters, and people aren't just mindless people dying. Like, right. There are scenes in that movie where it's just character development, where you don't want to see in Final Destination. Now you don't want to see these people die
because you're invested,
right? And you see like this, like I don't want to say love story, but you see two people's relationship, like and how they interact with one another, right. And you're just like, yo, I don't want to see them die. Like, and you are invested, and it's very, very
I don't
good.
think I've seen this because I don't remember all that. Yeah. So now I have to go watch it.
It's very good. You got to see it. What's the last movie you saw in the theater?
Ew. Lion King.
You know Avengers came out this year, right?
I did.
Okay.
Not really.
Just want to make sure.
Not really on the bandwagon.
Really? So you didn't see it? Really?
No.
That's surprising. You're not a big Marvel fan?
Not really.
But you did see Lion King.
I did see Lion King.
What do you think of that? I've heard different things.
Okay. So the Beehive is going to attack me for this, right? But
I hope so.
No, I hope not. Please don't.
This is the highlight for Instagram. I want you to know whatever you're getting ready to say is getting ready to be the highlight for Instagram.
Okay, so Lion King was amazing.
No, don't bullshit. Don't do that. The Beehive is going to attack you.
Okay, it just felt like
Go ahead
they
and
were
say,
trying
go ahead and
to.
say what you said off camera. How you talk about how Beyonce can't sing,
I do. Wow, I would never say that.
and you say she look like she smell.
I would never say that.
I mean, okay, you're lying. You said it off camera, but whatever. Go ahead.
No, I did not. You're lying, actually.
I don't know how to lie. So
That was a good one.
so you
No, okay. So what I was gonna say is that it felt like they were trying to force feed Beyonce lines, and we all know that acting is not her strong suit. Like
okay?
it's she couldn't get everything. She's beautiful. She can sing and she can dance. Like
Let me see
you
what-
you got to take away something.
Scoot away from you a little bit right here, so that arrows don't hit me too.
I mean, actually, I think most of the Beehive will agree that she doesn't really acting is just not her thing.
They're not going to agree with that.
Mm,
The Beehive is not going to agree with that.
I mean, I know some members, and they agree that she's not really the best actress.
No, see, you know people who are fans of Beyonce who agree with that. The Beehive is not going to agree with that.
Okay, you're right.
The Beehive
So,
is
yeah.
going to come at you crazy.
They're gonna come for me.
It's like the same people who would have come for me if I had gone. I did the podcast I did with Shauna where I said, it hasn't gone up yet. I haven't even edited it yet. But we talked about body positivity very briefly. And it was kind of in passing, but she said Joe Rogan said some fat shame some girl and she was off of him. And I said, she was like, we're all about body positivity. And I was like, well, that only applies to women. I said, body positivity doesn't apply to men. It doesn't. Because if I was,
Yeah, I can see that.
If there was a young lady who was on Instagram and she was overweight and I said she needs to lose weight, people would say, you're fat shaming.
Mm-hmm.
We're all about body positivity over here. It doesn't matter that her obesity could lead to an early grave. People are going to enable that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, girl, body positivity. You should love yourself. Thank you so much for enabling me in my poor eating habits. Now, flip side, if you talk to men, if there's a man that's overweight on Instagram and somebody says you need to lose weight, ain't nobody going to jump in his defense and say body positivity.
That's true.
Like,
But
no,
women
no
are
fatso.
socialized
You
to
need
use their looks as currency. So
Right. And I understand that. But
it's a whole different situation.
Well, you can't say like we're all about body. No, you're for female body positivity. Like that's what it is. Like just
Okay,
like
I can see your point there.
it's like feminism doesn't extend to black women.
Well, duh.
But there are people who would not believe, who would attack me for saying that.
No, but
Just
it
like
doesn't.
There are people who would have attacked me for saying, well, body positivity doesn't count for men. It was like, no. The fact of the matter is, and this is true, if I have a friend who, like, here's the thing. To me, this is what body positivity should be. I'm not saying what it is or what it isn't, but here's what it should be.
Okay.
If I say that, man, my ears are too big, and someone says, your ears are fine, and you should love the way you look.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You're a good friend. If I say the same for my legs, I got these ham hocks, but I squat, so that's why. If you,
Shameless plug.
I mean, I do. It is what it is. I get it in. Ass to ground. But on the flip side, if I'm overweight and I have high blood pressure and high cholesterol, if you're my friend, you will not encourage that. You will not say, nah, man, you don't need to lose any weight.
All right, that's
body
fair.
positivity. No, because you're enabling bad habits.
Right.
On the flip side, I know women who are overweight. I know women who are obese, and they have friends who tell them, no, girl, you should love the way you look, which I absolutely agree. You should love the way you look.
But you can love the way you look and still want to change something about
Thank
yourself.
you. You can love the way you look and understand, yes, I do love the way I look, but this look is also, which is not always, but it also can be conducive to a poor lifestyle.
Right.
Where I know women who are overweight, they're healthy. They're fine.
Exactly.
They just got a few extra pounds, but they don't have high cholesterol. They don't have high blood pressure.
Right.
So you kind of get into a space where there are people who, no matter what you say, just like with Beyonce, like what you just said, no matter if you say anything negative about Beyonce, they'll jump all over you.
That's true.
They won't listen to you. They'll just hear you. And it's the same thing that I talk about when I talk about body positivity.
All right. That's fair. I give you that one.
Like, it's a very weird dynamic. There are people who can't wait to be triggered. There are black people who can't wait to be triggered.
That is the truth.
It's an exercise. Like,
and I don't understand why. Like, why are you so angry?
I believe in playing the race card when it applies. I don't play it when it doesn't apply because you are a boy who cried wolf. You dilute it when it actually means something.
True.
There are people who are on the fence about the race card, people who don't look like this, who are on the fence about the race card.
Right.
And when they hear you play it when it doesn't apply, it fucks everything up.
Touche.
But no, yeah, you cannot be, if you say anything about a young lady who's overweight, they will call you, you are this, you are that. They won't
That's
listen
true.
to what you said. Because I got a homegirl who was like that. She posted a picture on Instagram, and don't get me wrong, the guy who commented was very, very rude.
Right.
And that was disrespectful. And it's a stranger. You don't talk to anybody like that. But I think if his approach had been different, the problem was she got one rude comment, and she got 100 people saying, don't listen to him, you look great. So in her mind, she was like, I'm not going to change anything. Not realizing that, okay, you not changing anything, there's a chance that there could be some pervasive health issues at play
Right.
here.
Yeah, I mean, if it's detrimental to your health, that's a different situation.
That's the main thing that people are like, I want to go on record right now. I
Okay.
believe in fat shaming. I absolutely do.
That doesn't surprise me.
Fat shame me. I can take it. Fat shame me.
All right.
Well, I've lost a lot of weight recently, and it's because,
heard.
in essence, I have fat shamed myself. Like, look
That's
at
a
you.
thing?
Of course, I'll look at myself and look at you. You're disgusting. Like, nobody's gonna want you, which is not the
Wow.
case at all. I don't lack female interest, but I
Yeah,
have.
I'm pretty sure it's like the third podcast where you said that.
Is it?
You said it on the last one.
Are you just assuming I said it
No,
on two other ones?
I've listened to them.
Well, you said I said it on the last one,
Yeah.
and you said third,
Well, you said it today.
right? You
You
said
said it on the last one. And I'm pretty sure I heard it before.
so. When you say you're pretty sure,
I'm pretty sure. At least twice. Definitely twice. Possibly 3.
now when you go back and listen to this, I want you to know how you kind of walked it back a little bit.
I said, okay, fine. Let's go with that.
But I don't lack female interest. I mean, I state facts up here all the time. So if I said it on all of them, I should have, because it's true. And if you don't want me to say it, beat me up. But I don't think that I personally just put myself in a mind frame where if there's something I want to better about myself, then I will do whatever I need to do to
Right.
do that. Whatever is a motivation for me, I believe in going for that, and I believe in doing that. Not everyone feels that way. I do believe ultimately, like you say, a woman's looks are her currency. It's not that it should be that way, but that's what it is.
But that's where we are. That's the world we live in.
Just like a man's money is his currency, his status is his currency.
Right.
A woman's test is her looks, a man's test is his money. You can have all the confidence in the world as a woman. It's unfortunate, but it's hollow if you're not attractive. Just like with a man, you can have all this alpha male, I'm the man, I'm this, I'm that, and the other. But if you broke, that shit don't mean
It's a
nothing.
wrap.
It don't mean nothing, bruh. And I know this because I've been there. I know this because all this ego means nothing if financially you're not where you're supposed to be.
Right. That's
So,
fair.
I've seen, and it shouldn't be like that, but it is. But I also feel like, and if what Shauna said is accurate, if what she's referring to, what Joe Rogan talked about, is true in terms of fat shaming. I don't even know if he actually fat shamed. People sometimes just kind of throw that around. If you are a movie star, it is your job. It is your job to be a movie star. You have to portray a certain look.
True.
And yes, of course, you're an actor or an actress. But if your job for this role is you got to be the hot girl, you got to be the hot girl.
Or that's not your job.
Right. If hot is you have to fit a certain look to fit society's mold of what a hot girl is, that's your job. Same with a guy. Like, it's unfortunate as males and females get older in terms of acting, older men get jobs acting faster than older women do.
Yes.
It's unfortunate. There ain't but so many Meryl Streeps. There ain't but so many,
Helen
Angela
Mirrens and that,
Bassett's. Yeah, there ain't but so many of them.
Right.
And they have legitimate talent. That's really what's
You're
sustained
not beating
them.
you're not beating Auntie Angie for a role.
No, hell no.
It's not happening.
Like, what is she? 112? And she looks
I think she's like
24
early
years old.
60s.
Yeah, she looks amazing. But no, it is what it is. Fat shaming is
How you better yourself.
it's how I better myself.
You.
I can't speak on what anyone else can or cannot
Right.
take. I will not tell anyone what they should or should not say or how they
Okay.
should motivate themselves, but
It works for you.
absolutely. I don't believe in that. I believe in body positivity is, not things that affect your health, because that's not body positive.
That's true.
Like, that's the opposite of body positive.
That's true.
It's body negative, actually.
Are you going to coin that now?
I might, actually.
Do it. Start a movement.
Because I know somebody, I told you, I got a homegirl who was obese, and her homegirl was telling her, nah, you look great. And I'm like, I had to tell her, I say this to you absolutely respectfully, and you know me. You should love the way you look, but just go to your doctor. And she went to her doctor and found out like she was not in a good place.
Right.
And she lost like 70, 80 pounds or something like that. She's still overweight, but like no high cholesterol, none of that. So I don't know. Be who you are, live your life the way you want to live it. And that's the other thing. It's a free country. If you want to be unhealthy, you can be unhealthy. If you want to be overweight, you can be overweight. Me personally, I want to live a very long time. It is fucked up that women are and I think it's pretty evident that women are judged much more harshly for their looks than men are. Just like it's unfair that a woman will ask me to bring something to the table that she doesn't financially, which is very interesting to me. I want a man who's got a career and is established and got money and what do you have? What do you do? You're going to fuck me and cook for me. That's what you bring to the table? I can get that anywhere. I can jerk off and heat up Hot Pockets. What else do you have?
But Hot Pockets aren't real food.
For me, I'm fine. I'm good. Sustenance for me. Like I'm joking about Hot Pockets, but I can cook my own food. What else do you do?
I mean, she orders Domino's really well.
That is a skill that would be very, very well utilized if I was a 7-year-old. But I'm in my Kobe year, so.
We gotta find me a name for this year. I don't want to use magic here.
You don't use why don't you want to use magic?
I don't know. It doesn't sound. It's not like your Jordan year. It just doesn't have the same flair.
Call it. Well, when are you 33?
Next year. It's a long time from now.
Okay.
Birthday was less than a week ago. It's got a minute.
Jesus, you're a baby.
How?
I'm just saying that because it irritates people whenever they say it. It irritates me when people say it to me. But I take it because 33 is young as shit.
It is young. But you remember being in middle and high school and like being over 30 sounded so old?
Honestly, I was never like that.
Oh,
I always felt like that was... I made a joke to my dad once. I was like, he was 40. And I said, man, you're so old. And he was like, when you get to be my age, you'll know how young it is. But I didn't need to get to be his age to understand. I could call you... Well, I could say it's your Karl Malone year. But fuck Karl Malone because he fucks children.
Oh, my God.
Fact, Google it if you don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Blake Griffin. I can say it's your Blake Griffin year. Magic has the ring to it.
I guess.
Like,
okay, fine. We'll go with it.
it's your magic year.
Magic year. Does that mean magic is going to happen for me? Is it going to be a magical year? Was 32 a magical year for you?
It's already been a pretty good year for you. So 32 was actually an adjusting year.
Okay.
31 was the first year I ever had like real financial freedom.
Okay.
32 was...
More of the same?
Yeah, but I was really putting more money into investments. 33, I'm kind of figuring some things out. And like relationship wise, I'm trying to elevate and...
Aren't we all?
Are we?
I don't know. I guess
What's your relationship situation?
I'm single.
Why?
I don't know. I don't have a good answer.
Are you dating?
No.
Why not? Well, that's why you're single. That's your good
Yeah,
answer.
I mean,
Okay.
when you put it that way, I'm not dating because I don't want to. It's just, I think I probably need to leave my house a little more. I'm going to go with that.
That'll happen. That's why I'm on Bumble and Tinder. What was the last, and I got off POF. What was the last?
Tinder scares me.
It should. You're a woman.
Okay. See, and when I tell people that, they're like,
should.
when I tell my friends that, they're like, what? Just get on Tinder. No, Tinder
should-
is scary.
Tinder should scare women.
Good. I'm glad
Bumble
a man
should-
has said that.
Oh, yeah, it should. Bumble should start to scare women. Y'all have more leverage on Bumble
Yeah.
because you have to,
Initiate.
which I do like that. even as a man, I like that because I know when you're talking to me, you really want to talk to me, and it's not
Right.
just clout chasing. Like with Tinder, it's like, okay, I feel like there are women who just swipe to see who likes them. And then when I go to speak to them, they don't respond. Like it hasn't happened in a minute. I'm more like I just got a Bumble match just now looking at my
Look
Apple
at
Watch.
you.
Nah, we'll see. But yeah, so get on Bumble or Tinder or go out on a date.
I'm not doing Tinder's stressful.
I get it. What's worst date you ever been on?
Worst date?
Worst first date.
Oh,
No, we'll do worst first date and then we'll do worst date.
well, they were one and the same.
Ooh, what was it?
So I was 23,
Oh my God.
right?
How old was he?
This is where the story gets.
All right, go ahead.
This is where the story gets interesting.
Okay.
So I was 23. I had just gotten out of an almost 3-year relationship. Well, probably like a year prior. So went out on this date. I don't even remember where I met him or how that interaction occurred. But we went out on a date. He was 36.
Okay.
I was 24. He was 12 years older. So I was 24. He was 30, and he was 36. And sitting on that date felt like I was sitting with my dad, except I would have had more fun if I was out to dinner with my dad. Like it was just like,
Why?
it was so weird because
Did he suck on butterscotches and
he did not suck on butterscotches, but it was very.
did he tell you stories about how he handed out candy corn to the kids at Halloween?
Right, like that's the house you just don't want to go to.
Batteries
Yeah,
and pennies and
right.
candy
No,
corn.
he was just very, very boring, and
He didn't talk?
he talked.
What did he he talked about his 401k and
just stuff that I'm 24. Like,
what did he
give me
I want to
some-
know what he talked about.
Rashad, I wish I could tell
I
you,
bet he
but
talked
I
about
was
the same shit I talk about now.
highly possible. But no, seriously though, it was one of those where he was like,
See, the
"Do
key
you
to
want
not burning the meat on the grill is you got to keep turning it. That's how you do it. How do you grill your meat? Yeah, I don't talk about that shit, but I'm not far away. Go ahead.
Well, and it was one of those. Do you want dessert? No. Do you want a drink? No. Like, I just need to get through this.
What? Okay, so at what point do you remember the point where you were just like, okay, this is not the wave?
We met.
Is when his dentures came out?
It
or-
was when we sat down and we just started to chat. And within the first 5 minutes, I was just like, he seems kind of boring. But I'm maybe like, let me not jump to anything. Let me at least ride this out for a few more minutes. And I tried to talk to him and just spark conversation about random things. And I figure I'm relatively worldly. Like I know something about a lot of different topics.
Okay.
I can talk about things.
All right.
And I'm trying to have conversation. I'm trying to instigate or initiate conversation. It's just like, he's boring. Like this is, you just don't have anything to say. And what you do say isn't worthwhile. And I remember I ordered something that would cook really, really fast.
Ooh, chicken tenders?
I did not order chicken tenders. I didn't want to be that person. But I think I did like pasta or something.
Be that person. I am that person.
You ordered chicken tenders?
Of course. I am 12 years old. Like, what are you talking about? Here's the thing. I will order chicken tenders and then order something else. Because I will
Okay.
order chicken tenders and then I'll order something that I have never had before.
So that way you have at least a baseline.
My backup is something I know I'm going to enjoy.
Okay, that's me and pasta.
Okay.
So
That's not bad.
So order pasta.
But sometimes you can not like pasta. I've had pasta from restaurants where I'm just like, yo, what's this watery bullshit?
That's true.
Like,
But that's when you go more like red sauces than a white sauce because they'll water down a white sauce.
I've seen them water down the red sauce. That's what made me not like it. I think, I can't remember what
There's
restaurant
nothing
that
a
was.
little crushed pepper can't fix in red sauce.
You might be right about that. You might be right.
Little crushed pepper.
Go ahead. So,
So yes, I probably ordered something like pasta, and I just could not wait to leave because he bored me. I was bored out of my mind, and I remember I pretty much blocked a lot of this date out because it was just that bad.
how did you meet this man?
Online somewhere.
Online somewhere?
I don't remember.
Okay. So, you were,
Yeah.
this was a long time ago. So there ain't but so many places you could have met this dude.
I know.
Facebook, Craigslist, Backpage wasn't around back then. So
Not Backpage.
I like how you said not Backpage, but Craigslist is still an option.
It could have been Craigslist, actually.
I really hope that
It wasn't. Yeah, I think this was before the Craigslist Killer came out.
So you were a woman seeking a man, and y'all just exchanged emails. There's the reason why my tone is very judgmental right now.
Because you're judging me.
I'm close to it. Like,
And you don't judge anybody. Well, no,
No.
you judge everybody.
no, I don't judge anybody. I'm not better than anybody. I'm not. No,
You're
not in the
judging.
slightest. You met this
no,
man
I'm-
you put an ad on Craigslist. Is that what happened?
I don't remember. This
So
was
it's possible. Here's the thing: if you ask me if I ever put an ad on Craigslist for dating, I'd be like, no, I've never done that. What the hell?
I don't remember.
I can, off the top of my head, tell you that I've never done that.
Oh, well then it's highly possible.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So you met a man. He had the tennis balls on his walker, and then what happened?
He did. He had a walker. And he after the date,
Did he even try to have a conversation with you?
not really.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And so after I rushed through my food and he asked if I wanted dessert, I said, no, thank you. And I'm pretty sure, I know I drove my own car because you didn't need to know where I lived. And
Smart, very smart.
after I got in the car, he tried to call me a couple of times and I just ignored him because I wasn't doing that again. He called maybe like 2 or 3 more times and that was it. It was bad. Because it was boring. I mean, I think I'm a fun person. So if you're sitting at dinner with me and like you don't laugh, like I think I'm pretty funny.
Okay. I'm not saying you're not funny.
Okay, fine, whatever.
No, but what I'm saying is you are creeping into Rashad levels of delusion right now. Because
But I think
I think I'm fucking hilarious. But
Well, I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't say all that. But
it doesn't
I think,
okay, I think I'm funny, but the truth that might not be the truth.
dang.
Like, and I have had to come to terms with that I might not be.
So all this time I thought I was entertaining and maybe I wasn't.
It's very, very possible.
Damn.
Just like all this time, I think that I'm just so handsome. Why?
You couldn't even get it out.
I couldn't even say it with a straight face. Because the fact of the matter is, I'm handsome as shit.
Okay.
But as far as being entertaining, and now all jokes aside, that's actually something I'm dealing with this podcast right now.
Okay.
Is marketing, promoting, and branding it, and understanding what is the content.
Right.
And the content should be entertainment. And I have to look at myself and say, are you as funny as you think you are? Are you as
Do you go back and listen and
absolutely
critique
every single
heavily
one.
critique?
My pod with Walyana, I even talked about it on the one I did with Kamal. I have to understand when I'm driving the conversation too much.
Right.
And I felt like with that one, and I'm grateful to her for doing it. I've said this before, I'm saying it again. I felt like in the beginning it was like it was a feeling out process for her. And she's coming back. Like she's coming back next week and we're going to record another one.
Okay.
And I already have an idea of what I'm going to do to start the podcast off so I can let her just do her thing.
Okay.
But there have been people that I haven't put up yet that we've recorded twice because the first one they had to kind of get accustomed to it.
Right.
And the second one, they just were overthinking it. So the second one was cool.
That's fair.
But yeah, I critique everything. When I body shame myself, I fat shame myself. And I'm a very harsh critic of everything that I do, especially something I do for consumption.
Okay, I can see that.
I'll listen, like the first one with Ashley, I might have listened to that once and said, cool, I like it. The second one with Yanni, I've listened to that several times. Because I'm like, what did I do here? I shouldn't have done that. Like, what did I do here? I should have done that. And the
You don't
first,
think part of it's just because you like to hear yourself talk?
no. No.
Interesting.
Because I've skipped through a lot of the stuff where I'm talking and I'm like, ugh. I like to hear myself talk if I feel like someone else could be hearing it and getting merit out of it. That's what I like. I
Okay.
like hearing myself talk if it's something
Of value.
right. And that's a come to Jesus moment for me, when I'm like, I'm talking, but I ain't saying shit. Or I'm talking and it's not bettering the situation.
So
Typically,
that means it's time to shut up.
and that's something you can utilize in everyday conversation.
Right.
But when you're doing something for consumption, I'm learning you don't always have to fill that time with needless shit.
You can just stop talking.
Right. And it's not about you. Like, it's about, I would say it's about your guest, but every guest is different.
Yeah.
I didn't invite Kamal on because he has an interesting job or he's world traveled. He's my friend. That's why I invited him on.
So why'd you invite me?
Because if I'm being completely frank with you, it's because I feel like you would have respected my business. I felt like you would have respected my business. I felt like you wouldn't have flaked. Now you say this like, you think you're a very funny person or you think you're an interesting person. I think you are too. That's why I did.
Thanks.
I'm fucking with you when I say, well, maybe you're not. No, like, I think you are too. So that's why I did.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
No problem. If I felt like you weren't, or if I felt like you wouldn't have anything to add, that wouldn't have been the case. There have been people I've invited on that flaked countless times. And I don't chase after grown people.
You shouldn't.
And it's funny when someone has a business but doesn't respect your business.
It is the craziest thing.
It's the wildest shit. But
like, what are you doing?
it is what it is. I'm used to that. I liken this business to relationships for me 10 years ago.
Okay.
Because I don't expect, and I've done it in businesses before, as well as my personal life. I don't expect you to take me as seriously as I take myself.
Okay.
I know that I'm for real, and I know this is a real endeavor. I don't expect you to take it seriously. My lawyer's already told me how this is going to play out. He was like, people who don't take it seriously, the numbers are going to start to go up, and you're going to start getting bigger guests, and then they're going to come on. And he said, and then what are you going to do? I said, well, if it's good for business, I'll have them on. If it's not, I won't. There won't be no favors at that point.
Right.
So, but no, I thought you were very awesome.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
No problem.
So I'm gonna head up a little bit.
No, it's a lot of shit talking going on here, but I mean that sincerely.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, so that was the worst. What made that? But the guy was just boring. It didn't seem like that's a bad date.
I don't go on enough dates to have really, really bad ones. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're
thinking
lucky.
back. Right.
You're-
Is it though?
That's very lucky.
If you're not going on them, how lucky is that?
I mean, it's lucky that you don't have those bad
Horrible.
experiences. I've had plenty of bad dates.
Like what? What was the worst? Ever. First, middle, last, whatever.
The one that jumps out at me right now is I matched with a girl on Tinder. This is
Nothing good comes from Tinder.
This is more introspective. I met a girl who I thought could be the one I wanted to marry.
Wow.
And for the longest, I thought she was going to be the one I was going to marry.
So what happened?
It pretty much dissolved this year. I got tired of being the one that put forth all the effort. There's a difference between effort and fake effort. I felt like she was giving me fake effort. I won't go too deep into it, but it was just one of those, I just got fed up. Just got tired of always being the one that was trying to make it happen, and she wasn't. So
Okay. So bad date.
Yeah, she wasn't fucking with me like I was fucking with her. But I matched with a girl on Tinder. She has all these pictures. Cool. She talks about how she works out every day and she runs every day and, she's a fitness freak. And I'm like, cool. Because that was, at that point in my life, that was something I was trying to get, better with. So we agreed to go to Stone Mountain. This is years ago. We agreed to go to Stone Mountain. And I get there and I don't see her. And I call her and I'm stretching and I call her and the phone rings right next to me. And
Did she catfish you?
she did. She was about 70 or 80 pounds heavier than her picture. But
So what, was it her, but 70 pounds ago? Or was it just not her at all?
It was her. She had just gotten bigger since her pictures. I wasn't mad at her though. Because, and this is why I say introspective, because I've done that before.
Yeah, you put your best pictures up there.
And my biggest flaw is I have a very poor perception of how I look. I still have that now.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I fat shame myself on the regular. So I wasn't really mad at her because I realized she could be dealing with I have body dysmorphia, and she could be dealing with the same thing that I was. It might not have been vicious. She might have just not realized that she had gotten bigger. Now, your ass don't run every day. So you lied to me with that.
She did.
Your ass,
Maybe she used to.
You look like you could start for the Green Bay Packers right now.
Not the Packers.
Starting linebacker right now. Dang. Hell, the way the Falcons look, we need you on this squad right now.
Wow. See, you did not have to go there.
But here's the thing, like, we still went on our run. We went up and down the mountain. I kind of had to slow down to stay with her, but I enjoyed our time together. And truth be told, I've hung out with her. This is years ago. I had hung out with her a couple times after that. But just the physical attraction wasn't there. And physical attraction is important.
It is very important.
You know, there are women who heard what I just said and be like, you should still care about her because she's, No,
but you have to like what you're looking at.
Right. Just like y'all don't date a man who's shorter than 6 feet. And here's the thing, height can't be changed.
At all.
You can lose your weight.
You can certainly
So
lose
who's
the weight.
superficial here? But thankfully I meet the requirements, but still.
How tall are you?
6 feet even. My doctor says I'm 6'1". I don't believe that. Because there's another person in my life, and I won't say who, but there's another person in my life that says that they're 6 feet and I'm an inch taller than them. They're like, you got to be 6'1" because I'm 6 feet. And I'm like, no, you're 5'11".
Men who are 5'11" are really, men who say they're 6 feet, a lot of times they're really 5'11".
Yeah.
5'10".
My doctor says 5'11". She'll measure me barefoot. You're like, oh, you're 6'1". No, I'm not.
Just go with 6 feet. It makes you seem a little bit more humble.
Like, I just say 6 feet.
Yeah, makes you seem humble.
It's just easier.
We know you're not, but we'll
not
go
at
with
all.
it.
What the fuck? Humility got me nowhere. I have an ego, but I know when to check it. I know when it doesn't have a place. That's why I've been able to be successful up until this point. But moving right along. I guess you could call it a bad date.
See, I don't think that was that bad. You weren't attracted, but it's not like it went just completely left.
No, I think I've had bad dates like women who were very demonstrative, very really shitty when they didn't have to be.
Like mean?
Yeah.
But why? On a date?
I think in some cases, I truthfully believe this. If you can, I believe in some cases, women were just uninterested and decided being shitty to me was the best way just out.
To get out of it.
Like, he's not going to talk to me again. Like, well, you kind of getting ahead of yourself there. Who says I'm interested in you? Like, who says this is a love connection on my end? It might not be. You don't have to be shitty to me to get me to leave you alone.
I wasn't shitty to my boring date. I kept trying to talk to him.
It seems like the way that story came off, he was like, no, I don't want dessert. Well, no, I don't want that. Like that, it does come off.
For dramatic purposes, now I'm retelling the story. Of course, I'm going to give you a little bit more. But no, I was nice on the date. I was very pleasant on the date.
It just wasn't working.
It just wasn't. He was boring me. And I was like, I feel like I'm on a date with a father figure. But if I was out with my dad, I would be having way more fun. Mm-hmm. So that it couldn't work out. Because I just imagined having conversations with him on the phone and not talking about anything.
I see. I get that.
So, yeah.
I've had bad first dates, but like...
But what qualifies as a bad first date? Like, some examples. I'm out of the loop here.
I had a bad first date where this woman was just rude to the waiter or the waitress.
Oh, you can't do that.
No. I had an ex-girlfriend who was like that.
They might spit in your food. You got to be nice.
Yeah. She fat now, so I think that's karma. She was...
So that's karma?
Maybe it's karma. I don't know how karma works. But my ex was very, very shitty to people. She was very pretty. Just very shitty to people, and she felt like she could get away with it. That's why she harbors resentment towards me, because I'm the one that broke up with her. I was the first guy that ever broke up with her.
Who you think you are?
I know, right? Like, she was just like, you breaking up with me? I'm just like, yeah. It's like, you're shitty with people. But like I said, like, and see, if you knew her mom, eventually them genes was going to catch up, and they did. And I'm not saying that being fat means you're unattractive. I'm just saying that I know for her, being overweight is killing her inside. Because I know how her brain works. So don't come at me for saying, I'm not
See, that's the part you need to post on Instagram.
I might. Shit, come at me. Give me my views. Leave all the mean comments. The algorithm doesn't know that your comment is mean.
That's true. Comments are comments.
The algorithm just sees a comment. Dislike it. Dislike the video. Guess what? All it sees is engagement. That's all the algorithm sees. I don't care. I truthfully don't. But I'm not saying that being overweight equates to being unattractive, because I know plenty of attractive overweight women. But I know that for her, and the way
It's
her
killing
ego
her.
is, it's killing her. And I love it because I'm petty.
You are petty.
Very much so. If I was an Avenger, petty man. That's who I am.
And what would your power be?
I'm petty. That's my power.
But
I would
what,
just be petty in any social situation, in any relationship situation.
That would be a really boring movie.
I don't know. Hawkeye is not a very interesting character, and he is, well, you haven't seen Endgame. There are characters who don't have a lot of superpowers who have a great story arc, and they're just regular.
So you're just gonna go with the story arc. That's gonna be what gets you in the door.
As long as I'm on screen, give me some screen time. A few one-liners here and there, I'll be cool. But I don't know about.
Insert sarcasm here.
Maybe I'm being serious.
If you get a check.
Yeah, I'll do a Tampax commercial if it means I get a check. I told my dad on the phone today, I'm a whore. I will, for money, I will do almost anything business-wise.
Almost.
I won't do anything that's going to compromise my culture, and I won't do anything that's going to compromise my integrity.
But outside of that,
The good thing for advertisers is when it comes to taking a check, I don't have too much integrity. So, no, I don't know about any bad first dates. I've had plenty, but I've kind of blocked them out.
see, that's why I don't remember this date.
Just kind of move forward. I've had women who were mean to the waiter or the waitress. I've had women who valued money way too much and they showcased it. I'm sure I'm a bad first date for some women. For a lot, I would imagine. I'm an acquired taste. I'm aware of that. That's why I don't always pin it on other people. When people say, oh, my ex. Maybe like people will leave out the reason why they're your ex. Oh, well, they're your ex because you cheated on them. Like, just say the whole story.
Let's give me the whole story.
But ex is not always a bad thing. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. Maybe there's nothing wrong with you.
True.
Maybe there's nothing wrong with me. We just weren't a good fit.
That's fair.
Love is not the same as compatibility. I subscribe to that. I was gonna do current events. I really don't. Do we even have any? Conservative versus liberal beliefs. Do you subscribe to political terms like this?
Not really.
Because you have conservatives, you have liberals, and then you have the far left and the far right. I disagree with the far right and the far left, because far right is zealotry when you start talking about Donald Trump.
Right.
And far left is far left would get mad at this podcast for me saying that body shaming is awesome. Even though I'm talking about myself, they will say that body shaming is, you shouldn't say body shaming is good. Okay. Body negativity, we're not going to do
body
that.
Body negativity. I feel like you should coin that.
I do believe in body negativity for myself. If someone makes the comment to me, hey man, look like you're gaining some weight. Thank you. I need to hear that. That's for me. Can't tell anybody else how to be motivated. Would you consider yourself a liberal or conservative? I don't even need to ask you that question, but I'm going to go ahead and do it.
See, I don't really define myself as in like either. I mean, I guess I would say I was a moderate. Like, I just don't really
subscribe to the label.
Yeah. I guess a moderate is a label, but I don't really subscribe to everything that either ideology believes in. So I'm just kind of out here floating in the wind.
I think I'm socially, I'm more liberal.
Yeah.
Economically, I'm more conservative.
And I think that's a lot of people.
But it's weird because you have guys like Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson said a quote, and I might have quoted this on another podcast, but Jordan Peterson, are you familiar with Jordan Peterson at all?
Vaguely.
Staunch conservative, if my memory serves me correctly. But he has a quote where he says, liberals need conservatives to tell them when things need to stay the same, and conservatives need liberals to tell them when things need to change. And I 100% believe that. But the thing is, that's not what it is.
No.
It's not. It's always, my side is smarter than yours. You're dumb.
And we're fighting all the time.
And nothing gets done. The fact that the Affordable Health Care Act was able to be passed is just mind-blowing to me.
Seriously.
Being fought the entire way, and I got this done. That is, when I say I mean Barack, obviously. Got it done is just, that's mind-blowing to me.
It is.
But yeah, I wouldn't call myself moderate necessarily. I'm conservative in some ways. I like to call myself a Demopublican. But if I had to say it, I'm more of a Democrat.
I would, yeah. I think that's where I would tend to lean.
Do I feel like we have an immigration problem? Yes. It depends on what do you define a problem?
Right. What exactly is the problem?
And I don't want people to be torn from their families. I don't want people in cages. I don't want kids in their own feces.
A wall's not going to do anything.
A wall is fucking dumb. If you're fucked up, if you think any of that is okay. That is my personal opinion. Now, is there an immigration problem? Yeah, but this is me. I can only speak for me. Educationally, if you're an illegal immigrant, there's not a job that you can take from me.
Precisely.
And
you're not taking any job that I'm going for.
Right. And if you are being true and honest with yourself, and that's also something that applies to you, you should really rethink whether or not you have a problem with immigration. Because there's some people that just want to have a problem, just have a problem. I just think it takes a very special person to come over on a ship and slaughter people on the land that were there before you, and then convince yourselves that
it's your destiny to be here.
You didn't buy it, you didn't barter for it, but it's yours.
You didn't pay money for it, but
and now yours. You can tell other people to stay out. That's
the craziest thing.
That's a special kind of ego to me. All right,
I was just thinking. You just made me think about the book. I think it's called "The People's History of the United States of America," and I saw it somewhere years ago, got it on Audible. On Audible, it's like 20-something hours. It's so long, but it is really,
Do you
really
like
good.
Audible?
Love Audible.
I'm thinking about getting it.
You should.
Okay.
I use my Audible subscription because I take Marta to work, so I use Audible daily.
All right. You've helped me. Thank you. Oh. The Mystics just won the WNBA championship.
Well, that's nice.
Good for them. WNBA. You ever watch WNBA?
I've gone to a couple of dream games. But I'm not really, I don't really watch the NBA too much either, so.
Way to make yourself seem like, hey, I
just don't watch basketball.
I'm not racist. I have black friends.
I just don't really watch basketball like that anymore. So
the analogy I just used does not apply to you at all.
At all. But I'm going to let you have
that.
There
is an analogy that does apply. It was just like, well, yeah, I don't have any black friends, but I mean, I have, I don't really like black people at all. So it's fine. It's just how it works.
That is a better analogy, but no, I just don't really watch basketball too much. So
I don't know. You know what it is? I don't have black friends, but I don't really have friends at all.
Okay.
That's the best analogy.
Yes. See?
So you're not saying you're not racist. It's just you can't prove it. Okay. Have you heard about this?
China bans Houston Rockets following a tweet? No. What is this?
Daryl Morey from the Houston Rockets, he's the GM. He tweeted something that was pro-China. And a tweet from Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey led Chinese businesses and the Chinese Basketball Association to cut ties with the NBA team. He tweeted an image that said, "Fight for freedom, stand for Hong Kong," in support of the pro-democracy protests, increasing tensions between Hong Kong and Beijing, which controls the former British colony. Now, when it says the backlash from China has been, the backlash from China was swift, they're not lying. Like, piece by piece as the days have gone by. He's since deleted the tweet. Tweet was not up that long. Like, everybody's gone back at him. And China's a huge market for the NBA. So it was one of those things where I get you probably think you're doing something good here. You might want to sit this one out.
Everything doesn't need your commentary.
No, and I wish he hadn't done this, especially business-wise with the way things are set up with the NBA and China. It's almost like when Bottom Jean's brother hugged the judge. Or no, actually, it was when Bottom Jean's brother said he doesn't even want Amber Geiger to go to prison.
Right.
And Chris Evans, as much as I love Chris Evans, is Captain America. He tweeted about it and quoted it and said, he's very liberal.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, he's very liberal. Like, and he even said, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And I know that his heart is in the right place for saying that this forgiveness that he's seeing is beautiful.
I hear
but
you.
his perspective, I think he lacks perspective.
He does.
It's one of those ones where I want to say, hey, Chris, sit this one out.
My brother wouldn't have been doing that.
No.
My brother would have blew something up.
Yeah. Amber Geiger would not have made it to trial. If anyway. And I love
another
Chris,
story for
I love
another
Chris
day.
Evans. He has openly gone at Klansmen on Twitter.
That's lit.
He went at David Duke. And I was like, Captain America is fighting real Nazis in real life.
Captain America for
Like,
real.
I loved it. And it was great. But this is one of those times like, Chris,
set this one out.
you might want to
church finger yourself right on out of this one.
Just weigh the options whether or not you want to speak on this. Because from your perspective, it's beautiful that he forgave. From my perspective, it's not the same as Chris's.
No, not at all.
I don't even want you to go to prison.
No, I want you to go for a really long time.
But see, that's what that religion will give you. The backlash from China was swift. The Chinese basketball, blah, blah. Yeah, anyway, he tweeted that, and I get maybe his heart was in the right place, but this is one of those, sit this one out.
Yeah, stay out of this one.
Whatever, anyway. Do we have another current event? Oh, this is a great one. And I picked this one specifically. We're going to end this right here. Why celebrate Columbus Day?
Why?
Now, you told me off camera that Christopher Columbus was such a revolutionary to you. And you have many pictures of him just sitting around your house.
Does it even, I even sound like somebody who would say that?
I know, that's why it surprised me. Now, you are a staunch Christopher Columbus. I've known you for a long time. You're a staunch Christopher Columbus supporter.
Absolutely not.
And you told me you secretly voted for Donald Trump. Now, I gotta ask you why.
Wow, do not ever.
Why?
Let's never go there.
Why? Because I don't understand. You just seem like you have it all together, and then you tell me this outrageousness.
You're such a jerk.
I'm just talking, and I'm saying it with a straight face.
God.
Now, okay, do you
celebrate Columbus Day?
Do you observe Columbus Day?
No.
Okay.
I have to go to work. So it's not a day for me. And then the bank's not open, so you interrupting what I have to do. The post office isn't open.
That reminds me, that's going to sound pretentious. I have some bank service I have to do.
Oh.
And tomorrow's Friday, and if I don't do it, it's not going to get done until Tuesday.
Look at you, when you're so important that didn't they just call you and remind you? They don't call you?
Call me and remind me.
I mean, call you about your business, because you're such a valued customer.
They do sometimes.
See?
They'll be like, hey, you haven't spent any money.
You okay?
You did?
Everything all right?
I was like, oh, no, I'm just using my credit cards, but don't worry. I got you. Money will be gone soon and more will filter in. It's just how it works.
Oh.
But I'm with a credit union. They don't really like monitor me like that. I'm very thankful to be with them.
Awesome.
Because I'm past the days of under a certain amount they charge you. You have less than $100 in your account, so we're going to charge you $35.
Because that helps.
That's criminal. That is so fucking such a racket.
Overdraft fees are so criminal.
Yeah, they are. I've had to eat plenty of those in my day.
Who you telling?
Today, Columbus Day. It's Indigenous Peoples Day. Like, that to me, that's what it is.
It should be.
And it's kind of in the vein we were talking about before. It takes a very special person to murder a whole group of people. The people say, hey, we can share all this. And you're like, no. I just want it. I just want it all.
You can't share.
And then I'm going to build this whole empire on top of it. And I'm going to enslave people on top of it.
I'm going to bring you diseases.
And then I'm going to tell you
that you can't be here.
Hey, you can have this space. It's just Walmart in Phoenix.
But you got to walk.
Yeah, that's your space. Trail of Tears.
You got to walk. And I'm going to kill you if you take too long.
Right. It's okay. Whatever.
Let's not.
I want to just be very clear. I know that white people aren't inherently evil. I have a lot of white friends that I think are amazing. I think are beautiful, kind-hearted people.
Okay.
I'm just speaking historically about the people at this time. This factually did happen. This is not my opinion.
This is fact.
So.
That's what I was saying. So back to my story about the book. It's really good because it tells all of the really shitty things that happened within American history, but it looks like it talks about, like I said, it's 15, 20 hours. It's a really long book. But it talks about, maybe it's even longer than that. I have to look that up and I'll send it to you. But it really talks about how this country was formed and just all of the ways in which, okay, so this is the story I'm trying to get to. They talked about how basically when it came to like formation of the government and how they knew that numerically, if the poor whites and if the poor whites started to vote against the rich people's interests, then obviously like they couldn't get away with all the things they were doing. So what they did was, even though they looked at them at the same level as they pretty much looked at black people, they decided that like what we're going to do is put all of these we're going to pitch you against the black people. Like, I want you to know that you're a few steps above them. Like, we look at you a little bit better, even though, I mean, comparatively speaking, like you're sharecropping and I mean, this even predates that, but these people have no money. So you're these indentured servants and all these people who have nothing, and they've put them slightly higher than black people so that they, and the book goes into really, really good detail.
Who wrote this?
I have to look it up because I don't remember. It's been a while since I read or since I listened to it.
What's the name of it?
It's called The People's History of the United States of America. But I mean, when you listen to it, when it talks about like the Industrial Revolution, it's good. I didn't buy the physical book. I have it on Audible, but yeah, that's it.
Okay, you have
Howard's Inn. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. So it's really good.
Okay.
You should read it.
I will.
Or if you don't have time to physically read the book, because it is long, you can listen to it.
It really depends on how I feel.
And you have to make sure you get like the full version, because I feel like there's an abridged version on there, and
Does Audible has a full?
The full version.
Okay.
So, but
I'll
yeah,
check that out.
it just talks about how fucked up the creation of this country is, and where all of the things that we're seeing now, where they all originated from. So it's a really interesting perspective.
I think if anybody is abreast of the actual history of the country, they'll be able to admit that. I think
True.
The point that what I like is when someone can admit fallacies.
Right.
Like when you say, "Oh, it wasn't that serious," or "Oh, it wasn't that deep," or "Oh, it doesn't affect you now."
Okay, I lied. It's 34 hours.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, it's
Audiobook's 34 hours.
34 hours.
I'm cool with that.
That's how long it was. It's that good though.
Is there anything else you want to say?
No, thanks for having me. This was fun.
You're very welcome. Do you? Where can people contact you? Do you want people to contact you? I think it's better. Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people are going to hit you up after this. I do know that people have hit up Ashley. Because people are nosy.
I mean, I followed her.
Like, there you go.
I did.
But I mean, hit up, like, not followed her.
Oh.
So, and her food is like, she's dope. Like, as a food blogger, she's not bullshitting. She's really great.
Yeah, she is good.
Okay. So where can people contact you or find you? Social media.
Social media. I'm on Instagram, but my page is private. So, no, I have 2 pages. That's right. So I have a page where I post all my travel,
What page do I follow?
You follow the main page, the one that's private.
Also, I got this special access to the
You do have the special access.
Top Flight.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
The world, Craig.
So my Instagram is the THE 48-hour traveler. That is my travel page. That sparked from me taking all of my weekend excursions, and
It's been a pretty good year for you.
it's been a pretty good year for me.
I'm gonna figure out some graphics, and I'm gonna put this on a lower third, like
Yeah.
so I can make sure people can physically see your.
Yeah, you can do that. I can tell you how to do that. What are you using to edit?
Well, I'm editing in Adobe Premiere, but I do my lower thirds, like my graphics in Adobe After Effects.
Oh, okay.
Like there's so many different variations that I'm going through because I don't want cheap shit. You know, when people do the cheap. Here's a free template, and some free templates are dope.
I was about to say I use some free templates
But
that
like
I love.
some of them are just.
Yeah, I found this one set. and that's pretty good. I use that for just about everything.
I've learned how to do them and just create my own. I know how to do the
on my list.
keyframes and all that. Like, that's easy. And once I learn how to do that, it's easy for me to just, I might
Do
just
it
make
yourself.
it. Yeah, I might just make it in Photoshop and then just bring it over. That's how I make my Instagram stories.
Aren't you so talented?
Well, you gotta learn. I gotta teach myself. I can't wait till I have a producer that can do all this shit for me.
It's gonna be so awesome.
When I get sponsored, I'm gonna do all that.
It's gonna be a wrap.
I'm gonna get office space. I'm gonna get a studio. I'm gonna build the whole thing up. I'll just show up and do my podcast.
And leave.
And I'll have a guy on salary that does all the editing. Hey man, I want you to highlight this one, this one, and this one, put it up on the YouTube, and I'm fucking gone. But right now I'm doing everything. Which
Baby steps.
There are people who think that I like have help with all this.
No.
With like
I
the
mean,
graphics and the video editing and all that. They're just like, well, you gotta have a team. No, it's just me.
I mean, it's not difficult. It's just time consuming.
It's just, yeah, that's it. And if you could save time, that Dead Meat, the YouTube channel,
Right.
he said that every kill count that he does, he saves 8 hours because there's a guy he just pays to do the editing. He said that saves him so much. He records the video. The guy, like, they have a synergy. The guy knows what scenes he's talking about, does the editing and everything.
That's awesome.
It's just great. And you
One day.
you elevate to that point. And for me, it'll probably be pretty soon. There's a particular company
not
I'm
to
gonna.
toot your own horn or anything.
No, I mean, it's just, I know how I am when I love something. I throw everything into it and it will succeed. Be 48-hour traveler. Mm-hmm. Okay.
You should follow it.
I'm gonna follow you and just get really, really, really jealous.
Yeah. You know, I post other people too. It's not just me. I post my friends on their travels.
Do you think that would make me less jealous? You said it like that was a consolation. Well, it's not just me. You can be jealous of other people too. It'll be cool. I'm gonna check it out.
Thanks.
Is there anything else you want to say?
No,
Do you have a product that you want to promote?
I don't.
Okay.
But next time when you invite me back, I'll have one.
So right now we're 1-4. Next time I invite you back, what's our record gonna be?
Should I be wishful here or should I be realistic?
Be delusional.
Be delusional?
12 and 4. NFC South champions.
Right. Delusional 12
First
and 4.
round bye in the playoffs. And then we just breeze past Kansas City.
Yeah.
And then NFC Championship game, Falcons, Niners, we breeze past them.
Breeze past that, yeah.
And then we face the Patriots in the Super Bowl again, and we beat them 72-0. That's what's going to happen.
Like, did you do drugs before I got here?
I didn't technically.
Okay.
But there's a Chevron right there, and I love the smell of gasoline. So that'll do it.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, so realistic?
Yeah, realistically.
6 and 10.
Here's the thing. I think you're right. 6 and 10 if Dan Quinn gets fired.
And if he doesn't,
8 and 8.
you think he's getting fired?
If we lose to the Cardinals and whoever we play after the Cardinals.
We play the Cardinals next.
Yeah. Hey Siri, show me the Falcons schedule.
Here's the upcoming schedule for the Falcons between Sunday and December 29th, 2019. The Cardinals on Sunday at 4:05 p.m. The Rams on October 20th at 1 p.m.
That's a loss.
The Seahawks on October 27th at
That's
1
a
p.m.
loss.
The Saints on November 10th at 1
You never
p.m.
know.
The Panthers on November 17th
You never
at
know.
1 p.m.
See, I told
Do you
you,
want to hear the remaining 6 games?
no. I hate that it went away. But we do play the Niners this year. So that's a loss.
It's definitely a loss because they look great.
Yeah. And I don't know. Anyway, realistically, I think we're going to be 8 and 8.
You think he's getting fired?
I would have thought he would get fired if we lost to the Cardinals. I don't think that now because of what Arthur Blank said.
Okay.
Arthur Blank said he's disappointed, but he does support Dan Quinn. So I believe,
He has the whole year.
I really think that means you got 2 more losses. I support you, but I just want a championship with my soccer team. So I'm going to need something with my football team. At the very least, I think he'll at least, we'll see.
6 and 10. That's what I'm thinking. Except I'm really not sure where those other 5 are coming from. So there's my dilemma.
I think we'll beat the Cardinals. And maybe,
Yeah, it's one.
maybe that's just too optimistic. And I think, how about this?
I think we beat the Panthers.
I think we'll split with the NFC South.
I go 3-3.
Yeah.
It depends on because that first Saints game is the 10th, and then the second one's on Thanksgiving. I don't know. They're too close together.
We'll lose to the Rams. We'll beat the Cardinals. We'll lose to the Rams. We'll lose to the Seahawks. And Saints will, we'll see. Panthers. I mean, outside of them, I think we'll beat the Jaguars. No, we gonna beat the Jaguars because that's some fluky bullshit that the Falcons would do. They're gonna fucking light up Garden Gnome Minshaw, whatever the fuck his name is, when he's playing amazing, and we'll beat the Bucks because we'll just beat the Bucks because at that point it won't matter.
Because is that the last game of the season?
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll win that one, and we'll beat the Cardinals. And you said the Jaguars. That's 5.
That's 6. If we split with the NFC South,
Okay.
and in those 3 games, that's 6.
Okay.
So what is that? A 7 and 9.
You're more optimistic than me.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm just putting all my eggs in George's basket this year.
I told you I just got finished sniffing gasoline.
Yeah.
So the fuck.
George is going to do it for me.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. This is supposed to be our year. I think it's going to happen.
We'll see. Let our O-line come back healthy. Like, that's the kicker right now.
Absolutely.
And then here's the thing. With the Texans, you had J.J. Watt on a rookie. Caleb, I love Caleb. You're a rookie. You got J.J. J.J. Watt was going to eat all day.
All day.
So I'm not even too mad about that. Like, J.J. is going to eat all day against that.
But they scored on like every possession.
They had their way with the Falcons. And I think
Took them to the woodshed.
Quinn has to do a better job of obviously calling defenses. That goes without saying.
I just don't know that he should be the D coordinator.
I would be hard pressed if he didn't have the pedigree to disagree with you, but I do disagree with you simply because he's the one who built Legion of Boom, and he has the team that we have created is the Legion of Boom. Like everyone that he wanted, Keanu Neal is his Cam Chancellor, Trufant is his Richard Sherman, like Deion Jones is his Bobby Wagner, like Ricardo Allen is his Earl Thomas.
Okay.
Like he has the pieces that he wants. Grady Jarrett is, and he didn't have a pass rush with the Legion of Boom, and he has a pass rush now.
Okay.
But if he didn't have the pedigree, I would say no, he doesn't need to be calling the plays. But I just think he just need to figure some shit out. A lot of shit is effort too, and I'm watching it. Like it ain't always the play calling.
It's the effort.
Like wrap him up. Deion Jones, he ain't got that problem. Trufant does.
On a regular basis.
Trufant looking like Robert Alford out there. Anyway, we running long.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Well, there's no real outro to this.
So we're just done.
Yeah, we're just done. That's it. Thank you so much for coming by. I appreciate you. Yeah, we'll see what the fuck those guys are gonna do.